I always knew that my mom was involved with certain practices, doing things that she shouldn't have been doing, but I never thought that she would use those practices against me. And what I mean by that is growing up, I used to feel so much heavy energy and I would never understand why I felt this way. I was a child who would have nightmares almost every night. I was a child who would see spirit, who would see ghosts, who would feel so much negative energy, and it was really disturbing to my spirit. I used to cry a lot when I was young, like a baby and all of that. And that's literally why. I was always around like heavy energy. And I'm an empath, so it makes sense. Anyway, when I was about 15, I was probably like in ninth grade. Um, my mom ended up confirming that she did witchcraft. And it was me, my sister, and my sister's boyfriend at the time. And she starts confirming that, yeah, she's done it before. She did it on my stepdad so he could stay around and settle in and be attached to him, whatever, right? And she even went as far as showing us the sock that was behind her bed. And in that moment, it really clicked to me. Like, I started understanding, like, why I would see negative spirits, why I would have bad dreams, this and that. But, of course, that went over my head. And it wasn't until, like I said, when I was 18, I got into a relationship. And if you guys watched my last story time, you guys know that my family was not happy with my relationship. And before anybody found out the status of our relationship, me and my partner, well, my ex, me and my ex, like, our chemistry was great. The way that we would connect was amazing. Our communication, the goals, like, everything was just great between us two. And when I started bringing her more around my family, I started to feel so much tension and negative energy towards however it is that they felt about me. I didn't know if it was the fact that I was dating my cousin's best friend or the fact that I was gay. But from my understanding, I don't think my mom was homophobic. Again, I don't really know my mom because we never really had these kinds of conversations. So I only know based off of what she performs, what she shows. So yeah, she had gay friends. She seemed accepting, but I can't sit here and tell you if she was accepting of me. But I did always feel like there was just something off. And like I said, like, when I actually started being with my partner is when I started implementing a healthy diet. This is when I started taking care of my body. This is when I started, going to my appointments, figuring out my gut health, things like that, meditating, going out more, going to nature, spending time with friends. Like, when I started doing more things is when I started feeling that kind of like animosity towards my family. And one day, me and my partner, well, my partner at the time, we were walking, and this random lady approaches us, and this lady asks, like, oh, do you believe in psychics? And I didn't really believe in that stuff at that time. Like, yeah, I believed in witchcraft, and I believed in all that stuff because it's always just been around me growing up. Like, I've always overheard those conversations with the adults in my family. Like, my mom, we used to go to this girl's house. I think she would, like, do her hair, but she was a witch, like, things like that. So I kind of already knew about all that stuff, but I didn't really believe in, like, psychics. So anyway, the lady starts talking to me, and when I tell you, the lady caught my attention instantly. I didn't tell her anything. I didn't tell her my name. I didn't tell her anything. This lady already told me, I know that you feel things that you don't usually talk about because you feel guilty about it. But don't feel guilty. Listen to your intuition. And then she told me, do you have sisters? I said, yeah, I have sisters. She said, be careful what you're telling your sisters, because what you tell your sisters doesn't stay with them. It is used as gossip. And your mom is not okay with a lot of the things that you're doing in your life right now. I already knew this. I already felt like a lot of tension during that time. And when I tell you, when this woman continued to speak, my heart sank to my stomach. I couldn't help but to just start crying right there, because this woman knew the heaviness that I was carrying, the guilt that I was carrying, the things that I wasn't speaking about. This woman knew. I kind of kept that to myself. Like I said, I think I kind of just let that go over my head at the same time, because who wants to, like, think about their family in that way? Who wants to, like, bring it to reality? But at the same time, like, the lady was right. I had to listen to my intuition and think about how I felt growing up. I already knew I was treated differently. I already knew that, I was misunderstood. I already knew that I would always be blamed and have to carry so much of the blame for a lot in my life. Like, I already knew that. So for somebody else to say it that doesn't know me, like, that was just really confirmation, and I just really, like, that was crazy. And I feel like that is what allowed me to open up more to my partner about a lot of things. And she's the one that kind of was teaching me discernment. She taught me a lot of discernment. She taught me to, like, still not let this, like, change my character, and still choose to come from a place of love rather than bitterness, because I feel like I was very bitter, especially, like, growing up and not understanding those feelings, right? But everything was starting to make sense in my life. So whatever, me and my partner, we started going through the spiritual path, getting closer to God. I started praying. Me and her would, like, literally, like, we had the Bible app on our phone, and we would read prayer every night. And I ended up, like, praying to God, and I would tell God, like, God, please show me, reveal what it is that needs to be revealed to me, regardless of how much it hurts. If there's anything that I'm not seeing, bring me that clarity, bring me that confirmation. And here we go with the sun coming out right when I'm saying this. But I literally was asking God, I was like, this is, like, really what I want to see. And once I started asking for that clarity is when I started to hear the rumors that were spreading about me, that my partner was starving me, that my partner was controlling me, right? My mom would go as far as, like, switching up narratives to certain things in my life. For example, when I finished graduating high school, I was in this program where it pretty much prepares you for, like, a professional career. And so you can't miss any days of the program, because, of course, you'll get kicked out if you miss, like, a certain number of days. So my family was going to go on a vacation, and I wasn't able to go to that vacation due to the fact that I was in that program and I was also working at the same time. So they go on the vacation, and that became a whole rumor of, like, oh, she never wants to spend time with the family. She doesn't want to be around the family, this, that, and the third. And it was just so draining and exhausting to hear that, and not just hear that, but trying to confront people about it, and then everyone acts stupid and acts like they don't know where that rumor is coming from, but it makes sense, and again, energy does not lie. Like, I am such an empath, and I know when people are talking about me. I know when people are perceiving me away. I feel it. I'm not an idiot. So whatever, that's when all those rumors started to come, and I spoke a little bit more about, like, the trauma and all that in my last story time. So if you guys want to know more about, like, kind of the toxic family dynamic with my mom and stuff, then you should definitely check out the story time. I'm gonna link it below. But yeah, pretty much with all that was happening, I was really just starting to see more. And during this time, me and my brother started to get a little bit closer. I wasn't really close to my brother growing up, but my partner kind of, like, opened up my eyes to see, like, you shouldn't take it out on your brother just because, like, you were compared to him, or just because your mom favored him, or whatever the case may be. Like, you shouldn't do that. So I kind of started opening up to my brother more, and I ended up telling him about the witchcraft that my mom was doing to my stepdad. I ended up telling him. I remember me and my partner and my brother, we smoked, and then we went to my room, which we usually would do. We would hang out, and I ended up telling him, like, basically about my mom. And this is the reason that I ended up telling him is because when they went on their vacation, when I had to stay back, they went to Puerto Rico. My mom was talking shit about me to my grandma, and my cousin was there telling me that, like, my grandma was basically saying that I'm gonna go to hell. Like, they were just speaking ill of me, and I just didn't, like, respect that. So I ended up telling my brother, like, hey, like, I just kind of, like, I don't think it was, like, malicious or, like, intentional. I think it was just a conversation that we were having, like, those little smoke talks. And I ended up telling him, like, what my mom did with my dad, like, my stepdad, like, the witchcraft and stuff. And that ended up, being spread around or whatever. I guess my brother ended up telling my mom, so that became an issue. But the reason that I told him is because, like, I didn't like the fact that when my mom was in Puerto Rico, she made me having to stay behind what it wasn't. And the reason I never confronted her is because by that time I was tired of confronting her about bullshit like this. I was tired of confronting her about lies and rumors and everybody telling me that I just am making it up, that I'm brainwashing people, that I'm this, that I'm that. Like, I was just so tired of just being compared to my biological father and just being seen as this monster. I was just so fucking tired of it. So I didn't really confront her, but basically she also was telling my brother during that, I ended up finding out that she was telling my brother that I had a relationship with my biological father, which that was not true. I never had a relationship with my biological father, ever. We never would text or anything like that. I did message him when I was 22 years old, but this wasn't that time, and that's another story time for y'all, cause that was the first and last time I ever messaged that man. But anyways, that made my brother super sensitive, super emotional. Obviously, he cried about it because it's like, why are you telling my brother that my biological father only wants a relationship with me and not with him, and that he only looks for me and not him, when that's never the case? Obviously, he added me on Facebook, and I never accepted the request. But it wasn't because he was only looking out for me. It's just easy to find me. Like, my name is very uncommon. And I was the one that has, my brother doesn't have social media like that. I have social media. I'm the one that's like more out there, profile picture and all that. My brother doesn't have all that. My brother's more low key. So anyways, and then I ended up getting that confirmation because my uncle kind of, one time he got drunk because he was an alcoholic. I don't know if he still is because I don't talk to them. But he was drunk and he was telling me like, oh, how come your dad only wants a relationship with you and not your brother? Like, that's so fucked up. I don't even know where he was getting that from. And I kind of was just staying quiet when he was saying that. Like, I was letting him expose himself. And I was literally like, thank you, God. Thank you, God, for like, because you know when people are drunk, like, so I was like, thank you, God, for like putting this man in this vulnerable moment for him to say this stuff to me and for me to gain that clarity and confirmation. And so whatever, I was just so thankful that I was like figuring out the kind of woman that my mom was, and like just how she was towards me and the things she was just doing behind closed doors. Like, it was ill. So anyways, when all the tension started to rise up, I decided to move with my partner. I'm like, I don't want to deal with this anymore. Like, I don't want to be in this household. I don't want to be feeling this way. So I ended up moving in with my partner. And literally, like, when I moved in with my partner, this was like my prime. Like, oh my God, my skin was like the best. My weight was the best. We were eating healthy. Like, I just remember, bro, like, it was such a good time. Like, green juices every single morning, gym, walking in the park, running, like, doing exercise, moving our bodies, like, stretching, meditating, journaling, manifestations, all those things. Like, we were doing it, and I felt so good. I was so open. I felt so free living with my partner. And obviously, I didn't plan to cut my family off. So, like, once a week, I was still visiting my mom. But that wasn't enough for her, clearly. And then my mom kind of just started kind of trying to force this like mother-daughter relationship stuff, like trying to call my phone, and just, that's just something we never did. Like, me and my mom, we never FaceTime, we never would talk on the phone. Like, yeah, she would text me, oh, have a good day, or don't forget to take the chicken out, or little shit like that. But like, it wasn't on no like, oh mom, guess what happened today? Oh mom, like, we just didn't have that. We just didn't. Because again, my mom was emotionally neglectful, and just how she was towards me, like, we just, you know, a parent is going to bond differently with each child naturally, and that's just how it is. So anyway, once I ended up moving my family, my mom kind of just started like, I felt very like suffocated because I felt like she just kept wanting like to, I just felt like there was more tension. I can't understand, I can't explain it. Like, when I would go back to visit her versus when I was with my partner, it was just such different feelings, different vibe. My mom ends up like one day trying to, I think I said this in my last story time, but I'll just say it again. Basically, my mom ended up like saying that she called me, and she didn't call me because I was like, I'm always like next to my phone, and I literally always have my phone in my hand. She did not call me. But anyway, she was saying that she called me and that I didn't answer her, blah, 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 blah. And that's when I literally said in the message, I said to her, well, you and I don't really have this mother-daughter calling relationships, and that's just the truth. And like I said, I'm going to always stand on that because that is literally the truth. And this woman got so mad, and when she got mad, you know when they say when your energy is heightened, your intelligence is low. So when you're angry, you say stupid things. When you're angry, you expose yourself. This woman started exposing herself, and I'm so grateful because she would always tell me that, oh, nobody has a problem with your partner. Oh, nobody's saying these things with you. When my mom got mad, it all came out. She started saying everything when she blacked out. She started saying how, oh, you changed so much with your partner. Oh, you this, oh, you that. Like, basically, like, just telling me that she don't fuck with my partner and how she influences me and controls me. Bro, I literally hung up in her face. I texted her. I was like, you're not about to sit here and cuss me out on my own phone. And I felt kind of bad. I felt a little guilty. But, like, bro, I had to put my foot down. I literally had to put my foot down because for years I took on the gaslighting. For years I allowed her to love bomb me. For years I allowed her to compare. I allowed her to shit on me. For years I allowed that. So I was like, nah, you are not about to be on my phone cussing me out. When you're ready to have a conversation and hold yourself accountable, then we can have a conversation and talk. Boom. I didn't talk to her the whole rest of the day, the next day. And For some reason, I just did not want to talk to her. I just didn't want to talk to her. I needed my space. I had my siblings. I had other people messaging me like, oh, that's your mom at the end of the day. Da, da, da. I didn't want to hear all that because I'm like, you know what? That's my mom, right? So why is my mom not defending me when people are talking down on me? That's my mom, right? So why when I come to you and I tell you this is what's going on, this is how I feel, why are you sitting around acting like it didn't happen, right? If that's my mom. So I kept the energy. I was like, you know what? No, I'm an adult. I need to be happy. Literally, I need to be happy. And all of y'all doing is bringing me down for me wanting to do better. For me wanting to do better, bro. I couldn't do it anymore. So I made the decision. I just didn't want to message her anymore. And I decided I didn't want to be in contact with her. I let her know, like, this is just not what I want. And she kept bothering me. She kept messaging me. And I kept telling her, like, this is just not what I want. Please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. So I ended up just blocking her. I blocked everybody from the family because I already knew everybody had this image of me, right? So I already knew that it was just going to be bullshit. I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to listen to anything. I was just like, bro, I just need to, like, remove myself. So I ended up just removing myself entirely. And when I tell you, the minute that I removed myself from that, me and my partner started having even more issues. I started becoming more bitter. I don't know if it was because the guilt of me cutting my family up. I don't know if it was because the pain. Because obviously it was painful. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, it was so easy for me to cut them off. No, I was fucking hurt. I was like, damn, like, the fact that it's gotten to this point where I need to remove myself because you guys are literally, like, getting in the way of just me elevating in my life is freaking crazy. So obviously there was a lot of guilt. There was a lot of shame. There was a lot of anger. There was a lot, and I started to really become very miserable and, like, just having more attitude with my partner. And I'm not gonna sit here and sit and condone cheating, but she did end up cheating on me. I'm not saying that her actions were right. Her and I have talked about it. Me and this person are still really good friends because we understand the dynamic of everything that was happening in that time, and plus we were very young. So, we end up breaking up. We end up going our own ways, bro. When I tell you this wasn't the only thing that was happening in my life, when I cut my family off, not only did I lose my relationship, I ended up, like, getting fired from my job, right? I ended up becoming homeless. Like, so much shit was slapping me in the face, and I'm telling you, I cut my mom off in June, and by September I was homeless. I had no job. I had no relationship. It was terrible. It was so bad. Like, I literally hit rock bottom. And the reason that I'm, like, saying it in this way is because I don't allow that time in my life to make me feel like I was a victim, because I'm not a victim. I'm a freaking warrior because I came out of that. That situation in itself allowed me to become closer to God, to find God within myself, and to know that the universe is always going to work through me no matter what. Literally, no matter what, the universe is always going to work through me. So even though it was hard, even though I had to experience a lot of pain, a lot of chaos, like, I still tried to make it right. I still made sure that I was meditating, and I still made sure that I journaled every day. I still made sure that, no matter how worthless I felt, because I felt worthless. I felt like shit. I felt like there was no reason for me to be alive. But despite how I felt, I knew that I was alive for a reason. And I've always had this mindset of, I'm alive today because there's more meaning, there's more purpose, there's more opportunity for me. There's still doorways that need to be open, people I need to meet. And I think that having that mindset has really, like, helped me. And yeah, so I ended up going through that, and it was the hardest time in my life. I kind of want to make a story time about just, that time. But during that time, I was getting help from certain people. I still had certain friends, certain relatives that I was in contact with. And, I was telling these people, like, what I was going through, not because I was trying to brainwash them like they said I was, but because I deserve to be able to tell my story. So anyways, I ended up telling one of my family members what happened. And they ended up confirming to me that my mom was basically talking to my grandfather's wife, who I guess is a witch as well, and telling her that she wants to do magic. She's going to do magic towards me to pretty much to get me back under her control. And when I heard that, I'm telling you, I felt so sick. I could not fucking believe that these words were coming out of this person's mouth. And I just couldn't believe she was telling me this. Like, did she really just say that? I believed it 100% because growing up, I witnessed certain things with my mom. Certain things that, like, I just knew. I just felt really sick. I ended up kind of, like, emailing my mom about it. We were fighting. We argued. I was so freaking mad. Like, girl, I cannot believe that would even cross your mind to do something like that to me. Like, that's the most selfish, inconsiderate thing ever, to ever even cross your mind, whether you did it or not, for that to even cross your mind, for you to be so desperate to have control over me, for you to pull me away from my happiness and my what I want to do with my life, just so you can have control, just so you can keep this narrative going of who you want me to be. You want to, like, it's so crazy. Like, it's just so, like, I couldn't believe it. And I ended up telling my ex, like, even though we weren't together, like, I ended up telling her for her safety as well, because I used to experience a lot of stuff when it came to my mom and my ex. Like, one time, me and my ex, we had matching rings, and one day I got home and I caught my mom cleaning, and she was wearing my ex's ring, and I'm like, why do you have that ring on? Like, where'd you get it from? You don't even think to ask whose ring it is. You don't even think to give it back. You have 3 daughters. My mom has 3 daughters. You're just gonna wear it? I don't know. That was weird. And then I just started putting all the pieces together. Like, there was another time where, like, my partner, like, I would do my own laundry by this time, and me and my partner were looking for this hoodie that we couldn't find. I'm like, where's your hoodie? We're looking for it. I ended up finding it in my mom's room, and I questioned her about it. I'm like, why do you have her hoodie in your room? And then she claims that she was washing it. I don't know. Maybe I am overthinking, but whether or not she did witchcraft or not, for you to still be talking down to your daughter, for you to still not be defending, for you to still be gaslighting, is still freaking messed up. So as you can see, I was unable to finish the video yesterday, but as I was saying, was literally, like, it's so crazy. Like, whether or not my mom did witchcraft, the fact that you would even go as low as creating a false narrative and speaking on your daughter the way that you speak about her, not defending her, gaslighting her, trying to, like, make it seem like something that is not, trying to tell her, like, it's just messed up, right? And so basically, after I ended up finding out that my mom basically said that she wanted to do witchcraft to get me back and all that stuff, like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I got kind of scared. And I don't know if I was just, like, experiencing the placebo effect. I don't know if I was just overthinking. But I started to, like, literally feel sick. And it got to a point where, like, I wasn't even on my period. I would just start, like, peeing blood. I started peeing blood. I started having more nightmares. I started having more anxiety. And I would get, like, a lot of random pains in my stomach. I would go to the hospital, and they were never able to diagnose me. They were never able to find something in me, and the pain would get so bad. And I don't know if it was that. So I ended up, like, just going and cleansing myself. So I would get, like, sage, Palo Santo. I would, like, scrub my body. And I started doing a lot of prayer, like, even more than I was already doing. I started really just praying. And this is when I really mostly got into journaling. And I would, like, write in my notebook. I would write everything that I want to release. I would meditate on it. I would burn my notebook once it got full. And I started doing kind of like these, like, rituals for myself to kind of just release. And, eventually I started feeling a little bit better, but there was still a lot of chaos in my life in regards to, like, my living situation, my relationships, like, things like that. And, eventually I built myself up from that, but I really did hit rock bottom, and I do want to make more story times on that, so I won't go too deep because this video is already so long. But pretty much, yeah, like, I seen and witnessed a lot of stuff, and I feel like I have a lot of reasons to believe the things that I believe. And like I said, whether or not the witchcraft is real, my mom has still done so much messed up things towards me. And it's like everyone is telling me, oh, well, that's your mom, you should do this. But we're both adults, you know what I mean? So I can hold myself accountable and say, I've never been a perfect person. I can hold myself accountable and say, yes, I've made mistakes. Yes, I've done these things. But if the other person is not willing to take accountability, I cannot sit there and I cannot beg and force somebody to take accountability. I cannot sit there and babysit somebody and try to get them to speak, to communicate. I just can't do that anymore. And I feel like for such a long time, I had already been trying. I had already been communicating. I had already been crying for help in so many different ways. And it gets to a point where it's like, that's it. I can't keep doing that. I can't keep, draining myself trying to explain or trying to, like, figure things out when everybody is just going to believe whatever it is that they want to believe. Even you guys watching this video, like, I'm telling my story simply because this is my experience and this is something that I feel like is helping me. But I'm not sitting here and telling you guys to believe anything that I'm saying. I'm not telling you guys to take my side, right? But I am here so that you guys can listen. I am here because there are people that go through these things. There are people that can relate. There are people that I could help and people that can help me. But it's never about, oh, I'm going to say this because I want you guys to believe me because this, and that. Because if that was the case, I would have done the story time a long time ago, So it's not about, me being in the right, but it's about me being heard and me being understood. So if you guys want to continue to be a part of this journey, if you guys want to continue to hear my story, if you guys want to continue to, like, you know, just uplift each other and grow, make sure you guys are subscribed to my channel. Make sure you guys are liking these videos, because I'm going to be posting a story time on how it was for me being homeless. So I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.